Once you realize that you're only one person and there are only 24 hours in a day, you won't feel the need to prove yourself or rush your process. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, it's not for you. Don't force it, let it fly. But most importantly, grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to go over and discuss why you should take your time and why you must learn how to become patient during your healing journey, elevation, and just become the best version of yourself. We have some recommendations, some reminders, disclaimers, and just certain things that you should be aware of. Starting off with the introduction, starting off with the topic of today's video. If there are only 24 hours in a day, you are not going to be able to complete a trillion tasks within that day. You will work yourself out, you will overwhelm yourself, and you will burn yourself out. Why do you feel like you need to rush your life just to seek validation from people and places and things who don't pour into you, who do not help you, and who don't want you to do well? None of the people who talked down on you or projected and deflected that you were a loser, that you were a nobody, or that you weren't going to be anything are for you. They're not meant to be a part of your success. They're not pouring into you emotionally, physically, financially. They don't do anything for you but drain you and make you feel insecure about yourself. So why would you? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know when you're writing it down. Let me know when you say it out loud. Worry about how people feel about you when they don't do anything for you, when they're not contributing into your success or your elevation. And why should you care? Now that you're figuring that out, now that we said the quiet part out loud, let's be for real. You don't have nothing to prove. And that's the second thing. You see, you have a life. You've gone through things. Sometimes people are not going to go through the things, that you go through. And this is another main reason why you shouldn't have to prove yourself or rush or feel like you're too old or you're too late, which I made a video talking about in life, because you're not. You don't have the same luxury as everybody else. Everybody does not think the same. Unfortunately, there is division, corruption, and confusion, which means there are some people who have certain resources that some people don't, based off of their race, gender, and demographic, and etc. So if you are somebody who did not receive certain resources and certain tools in certain communities, why should you feel like you have to jump through hurdles just to satisfy people in places and things who don't even apply to you, who are not your demographic, who are not even your target audience? If you know you grew up less fortunate, why should you feel like you have to be financially stable around people who've always been financially stable to prove yourself to them that you're worthy? You're not less of a person just because you didn't have certain resources or certain tools, or you don't come from a certain background. Anybody who thinks they're better than you because they have certain things that you don't is a loser, and they're not better than you. Because if they really thought they were better than you, they would just live their life and you wouldn't even be a thought of their mind. You see, we live rent-free in people's minds because they don't have anything going for themselves. And you have to realize that when you have stuff going for yourself, you don't feel the need to rush that. When you have to figure out things by yourself, when you've had to get it out the mud, when you've had to seek therapy and assistance, when you've had to do things that were unfamiliar, that's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. You don't have to compare yourself to people. You don't have to listen to people. You don't have to feel like, oh, I'm too old, or it's too late, or I'm a loser because the people around me that I went to school with or the people in my family are doing certain things. Who cares? 99, if not 100% of the times, you don't even want what they want. Like, what I'm doing in my life didn't require me to do certain things that the average person around me had to do. Like, what they had to do to get to where they were, I don't have to do, and vice versa. What I'm doing, they can't do. It doesn't require them. It wasn't in their deck of cards. So it's just like, this whole misconception of feeling like you're a loser or feeling like you're behind in life because you're comparing yourself to people who you don't even want to be like is so unnecessary. Once you decide what you want to do in this life, work towards it. It's easier to have help in community and finances. And that's another thing. 100% of the times when people try to judge me or shame me or talk negatively about me, they have not gone without, like, a lot of people grew up with like a community or friends and family and people loving them and supporting them. I've only had a select people in my life who had genuine intentions towards me. So if I didn't come from a lot of people, some people versus people who have always had support and people in their corner, I would never honestly allow what they say to me get to me. Because it's like when people say things about how you handle or how you have to react and respond to things, they've never gone through those things themselves. Like, I can think of one person who would say and do certain things, and it's just like, you haven't even gone through the things that I went through. So how I choose to react and respond, it is different. And that's another reason why I've learned to be patient and not be embarrassed or ashamed, because it's easier when you come from like people supporting you and being there for you versus when you have to figure out information yourself. Like, girl, you can't F with me. And you have to realize that some people can't even relate to you. So it doesn't matter what they think, how you should live your life. Not just that, this is a person I don't want to be like. Because I see how you live your life. You're judging people and making people feel bad because they don't do. Who are you? You got to start letting people know they're not important. They're really not important. And this is why when you focus on yourself and you take your time, you won't even have to say that to certain people. People will be trying to be outside the club. People want to be worried about you because they're not worried about themselves. Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. Worry about the things that make you feel good. Worrying about people and places and things that don't make you feel good, that don't pour into you, it's unnecessary and it's a waste of your time. Moving forward, take your time, figure out what it is that you want, and realize you may not have the same tools and same resources. It doesn't matter. You're still going to get there. You're still going to accomplish the things that you want, and it builds character. It builds character. It helps you. And it goes to show how independent you are. If people are not coming into your life and pouring into you and they're not trying to help you and educate you and motivate you, so what? You have to figure out things and it takes more time, energy, and effort. Who cares? All the people, who talk down on you, who cares? Like, this one person, they're not in my life no more, obviously. And it was only in my life for a split second because once I clocked that was their nasty attitude, I was like, oh, yeah, this is not going to work. I don't want nothing to do with you because, ew, you're not better than nobody. And a lot of times, these people will be miserable. Like, you may have certain things that they lack. And instead of them working on it because you can learn and become teachable from any and everybody, they'll resent you and they'll just have this negative energy. But it's just like, there are some things that you have, they have that you don't have, and it's like you don't feel no type of way. So it's like, be inspired. Don't be intimidated by anybody, because 100% of the times, if that person is really that girl or really that guy, if they're really like that, they'll be able to put you on. Like, I don't know. Don't make things complicated than what it needs to be. If you want to, let's just say, reach $1,000 and you've never had $1,000 before, do what you need to do. Work at the job that you need to work at. Don't allow anybody to make fun of you or shame you because maybe you have to work somewhere and you don't want to work there. And maybe you're getting paycheck to paycheck. Maybe you don't make as much money as people that you know. Who cares? Do what you need to do so you can receive the things that you want and you can improve yourself. That's like if you want a car and you have to walk or you have to take public transportation. Don't be embarrassed, because the fact that you're willing to put yourself in a situation to better yourself, that is the flex. And that's why people be envious and be having so much to say, because if it was them, they wouldn't be able to do those things. They would be embarrassed. They would feel like, oh, it's too late, or I don't want people to see me having to walk to work. Who cares? You can't be prideful and arrogant and not be happy. Pick a struggle. So it's like, if you have to sit here and work at a job like Wendy's, McDonald's, fast food, or somewhere where you accept lower pay, do that. I've worked at Wendy's and McDonald's. I've never felt embarrassed or ashamed. It doesn't matter if I was 23, 17, or even 44. Like, people have to do what they have to do in order to get better, because everyone, like I said, is not dealt with the same deck of cards. And I don't think it's fair to compare myself or to rush my life or to feel like I'm too far behind in life, like I said, based off of other people. Because if you are comparing yourself, and that's what people be doing, people be comparing themselves, you don't have the same luxury. Like, if you grow up in a single parent household and everyone else around you comes from a 2-parent household, it's different. And unless people take the time to get to know you, they're not going to be able to relate to that. They don't understand. That's another reason why I don't feel the need to prove myself or explain myself. And I didn't explain myself to certain people. And the only reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of people are struggling and suffering and going through their problems alone, thinking that they're alone or that they're the only person. And you're not. There's so many people. It's just nobody wants to talk about it. I'm not afraid to talk about it because I'm not afraid of none of you. Okay? People go through things. Everybody isn't always, blessed with certain resources and certain tools. It's nothing to be embarrassed of. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But it's like, you got to be for real. You just got to boss up. Become a boss. Because all the adversity, all the time, all the energy and effort it takes for you to figure out what you need to do, what's for you and what's not, and what you had to do, I'm telling you, the strength that you have, they can't mess with you. Like, these people are not even on your level. Like, when you're self-made, when you have to do a lot of things by yourself, a lot of people are not on your level. A lot of people have codependency issues. A lot of people have attachment issues. A lot of people are so conditioned to community that they don't know how to sit with themselves. And there's nothing wrong with community. There's nothing wrong with support. Nobody's envious. Nobody's upset. Nobody's jealous. But what good is it to have community when your community isn't genuine? If you are going to have people in your corner, you want people that are in your corner and that could have stability. Like me personally, I'm grateful that I had to figure out a lot of things by myself, because now the only people I surround myself with are people who are stable. I don't want people in my corner just to have people in my corner. I would rather be alone. I would rather have to figure out things by myself before I sit here and ask for help from people who can't even help themselves. And that's a flex. That's a flex. Everybody can't do things by themselves. People can't even think for themselves, let alone go through trials and tribulations by themselves. So don't listen to them. Don't compare yourself to anybody. Don't listen to people who don't pour into you, who don't go through the things that you go through, or who are not willing to help you. And don't worry about feeling like you're too old or you're too late, because that's what everybody else is saying. What are you saying? Like I said, if you know your cards, if you know you grew up less fortunate, if you know you grew up without certain resources and tools, you know you didn't come from a loving background or have community or people to pour into you, and you had to figure that out by yourself, what do you look like feeling the need to jump through hurdles just to make these people satisfied? Because once again, what is the goal? What is the motive? What is the intention behind it? They're not better than you. I want you to know that these people are miserable. Anybody who talks down on you about situations that they've never gone through themselves is a hater. And that's just what it needs to be. Because it's like, oh, that could never be me. Okay, then it's not you. Like, so many people will be like, oh, I would never do this, or I would have never done that. You were never in the situation, so you don't know. If you don't have nothing nice to say, if they don't have nothing nice to say, don't worry about them. But don't ever feel like you're behind in life when you know what you've gone through. And I'm going to end off the video with that. When you know what you've gone through from early age, from 2, 5, 7, 13, up until now, look at your life and realize, did you have the same luxury as the other people that want you to compare yourself to them? Because it be them. You got to know when it's you and when it's other people. Like, that person specifically, that person didn't feel good about themselves. So they thought, oh, well, let me just sit here. Baby, I'm not the one or the two. Okay? Take your time. You don't need to rush. You're not far behind in life. You just have to realize what's in your control and what's not. And you have to realize what you're doing and what you're not doing. Once you realize that you weren't making certain choices or certain decisions, or that you didn't know certain things and you had to learn, apply it. Because it's like, once you do figure out you're not where you want to be and you're not happy with yourself, or maybe you haven't achieved the things that you want to achieve, you got to hold yourself accountable. You got to be responsible, because those people are not going to help you. You got to be willing to help yourself. You have to decide, okay, I'm not happy with where I am. Am I willing to make the necessary changes? Am I willing to experience this temporary form of discomfort? Am I willing to be irritated in the moment, but be happy later? Like, you got to be obedient. You got to make a decision. And I'm speaking from experience. That is the best thing that's helped me along my healing journey. Do I want to be frustrated and overwhelmed and maybe not feel the best right now, or broke, whatever it is I'm going through right now? Or do I want the abundance? Because once you make in your mind that you want certain things, that you want to heal, you want to be positive, you want peace and abundance, you got to do those things to get it. And there's no timeline to it. That's the same thing when it comes to healing and grieving. All the 500 plus videos that you guys are watching, if you're new here, you need to check out up until now, is no timeline. Grieving and healing is not a one size fit all. And I said that in the beginning of my introduction. It could take weeks, months, and years. It just depends on how much time, how much energy, and being practical and realistic about your schedule and your routine, and staying in your own lane and focusing on what you need to focus on, and not worrying about anything that's outside of you. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video all the way to the end. I'm about to get something to eat. I'm so hungry. That's why I kind of like speed through this video. Let me know if you want me to part 2. Let me know if you want me to elaborate. Let me know what was able to, resonate with you and what you need to work on, follow me on all my social media platforms. All the information is down in the description box below. Head to Instagram and on TikTok. I will be going live talking about this, as well as booking your service in your session if you're ready to solve your problems today, immediately. And just knowing that you don't need to rush. You do need to take your time. You're only one person. You don't want to be stressed out and burnt out and overwhelmed. You want to be able to sustain the things that you're working towards, maintain it, and have the energy. There's a time and a place to work. There's a time and a place to have fun. And there's a time and a place for you to do what you need to do. Know the difference, okay? Love you, bye.